seconds. Azubuike, he'll fire the three. It rims out, and it's over. Florida has made a statement. The breakthrough victory that Billy Donovan was looking for. And the 8-game winning streak for Kentucky over the Gators has come to an end.
Welcome back. Ian Eagle was absolutely right. Florida made a statement 1 week ago defeating Kentucky. They can make an even bigger statement this afternoon with a win in the SEC tournament game. Billy Donovan, 9th season, hard to believe. It seems like just yesterday he was leading Providence into the Final Four in 1987. State Farm covers the court. David Lee, terrific senior in the middle. Matt Walsh has in the gym range, and Anthony Roberson, truly one of the great point guards in all of college basketball from Saginaw, Michigan. On the other sideline, Tubby Smith, simply put, a winner. He's won 5 of the last 7 SEC tournament championships. A look at his starters. Chuck Hayes, the leader, but Patrick Sparks, he's not big, he's not fast. However, simply put, he can flat out play the game of basketball. And there's Patrick. Great crowd in attendance this afternoon. Gerald Boudreau, Shows, and Stewart are the officials. 24,214 yesterday. We may have a little better crowd this afternoon.
Nice to be at a Kentucky home game.
As we take a look at the tournament history, Kentucky leads it 10-2. Their last meeting, the 2004 final, 89-73, Kentucky again. Guys, as this one gets ready to start, what should we pay attention to?
Well, I think one of the key things you're going to have to pay attention to is those little signs that indicate fatigue. Are guys getting to rebounds? Who's getting to the loose balls? And do they have their legs for shooting the jump shot?
Depth, I think, is the key here. Can Florida match Kentucky's depth?
Morris and Horford in the middle, and it's controlled by Florida.
Gus and Dan. Come on, get through.
Here we go. Walsh running the pick and roll with Lee. Walsh guarded by Sparks. Now Roberson comes it down. Lee, turnaround jump shot, no. Rebounded on the offensive end. Horford can't get it, but Lee with the tap in.
That's where they have to excel, Dan. Bang the glass.
Billy and Tubby Smith told us this may be the worst rebounding team he's ever coached, and Florida has done such a great job on the boards all season long. That's going to be a factor today.
A little three-quarter court pressure, and back, let's see, a little man-to-man. They did some matchup yesterday in a little zone.
And that's what it is, Billy. It's that matchup zone.
Inside Chuck Hayes, the star yesterday. Drop step, rejected. Horford got a hand on it. He rakes it, takes it into the front court. Walsh pulls up on the baseline. Out of bounds, will head the other way. Offensive rebounding, a key yesterday for Florida.
Key yesterday for Florida, and interestingly enough, this guy right here, the Horford kid, we have seen his hands on the basketball on both ends of the court, bringing the ball up. We talked about those veteran guys, but I think there's a couple of freshmen out there for Florida who are going to be a factor.
Gus, Billy Donovan says the young guys bring some juice and some enthusiasm. A little double in the box.
Morris gets it to Sparks, out of bounds, and it's last touched by the Gators. And talking about rebounding, Florida out-rebounds team 37-30 on the season, but yesterday against Alabama, Coach, they gave up 18 offensive rebounds to the Crimson Tide.
I think the fatigue was the problem, too. Fresh legs.
Did not have the matchup zone a little bit of a difficulty, too. They were having a hard time finding blockout response.
Azubuike has really gotten better with the bounce, hasn't he? Going left and right.
Kalena Azubuike averaged about 40 points a game in high school growing up in Tulsa. And he has concentrated not only on his offensive skills, but his defensive skills. One of the best defenders on this Kentucky team this year. Here's Roberson, pulls up from 20.
How about that? How do you guard that? You better show, and you got to go over the top, Dan.
Well, you got to get a little closer than that.
He has some range, and he has a middle game, too.
Florida up early. Morris inside, and a foul. This will go against Kentucky.
And when you're coming off the screen, you've just got to have some help there, and there was nobody from Kentucky. I think that was Morris that just hung back in the lane. You cannot allow Roberson to have that kind of a look at the basket.
And I think both of you will agree they got an inside game now, Florida, which really makes them a much better basketball team. Horford is Lee right now at Brewer on the wing.
Actually, a traveling violation. Stolen away by Chuck Hayes. And here comes the senior to the basket and draws the foul. Corey Brewer gets him from behind.
Those are one of those little things that you love about Chuck Hayes. He'll get down and dirty. He'll be physical. He may be the best in the country at having arms around him, and still, I'm disappointed he didn't make that layup. He usually carries people to the rim.
So Kentucky looking for their 26th all-time tournament championship.
Incredible, isn't it? It's a pretty good team they had to compete against every year. Kentucky has established himself. You talk to all the Kentucky people, they think this is his best coaching job ever. Would you rack it in there?
Well, of course, you've got no big stars on the team, and I think that when you're playing as many guys as Tubby plays, and you've got to understand how to work them in, when to put them in, when to take them out, I would certainly rank it right up there.
It's like our threesome, no stars. No offense, Gus.
5-2, Florida. Leading Kentucky. And here's Roberson, the young man from Saginaw, Michigan, the Walsh.
Walsh is great without the basketball, Gus.
Also a good passer, averaging 3 assists. Brewer to the bucket, rejected from behind by Hayes, out of bounds, and will head the other way.
Another one of those things you're talking about, Bill, what Hayes does, coming over to help out. And this Brewer kid has had a great SEC tournament, averaging almost 14 points per game in the tournament, has given Florida another option.
Nice all-around player, solid. Slice cut. Unfortunately, it's Sparks. They're not going to post him up, I don't think. And a double.
Rondo taking his time
Against the Florida man-to-man. They play off Rondo because he's not a real good outside shooter.
off the mark there, and the rebound goes to the Gators.
And Dan, a good point. Going sliding behind, you can really jam up defensively.
Al Lee,
Either hook, right or left.
now Brooks got it.
Unbelievable. Because he learned how to use either arm, Gus, correct?
Certainly did. Broke his arm, his left arm, and learned how to use his right hand in high school.
And look at him compete. That's a different play. That's a great hustle, physical play. Nothing dirty. And Joe Boudreau, one of the premier referees, right on top of it.
This is a guy who they originally had a reputation as maybe being a little bit soft. There's nothing soft about David Lee's game. He just takes him down. Now on offense, Lee is such a great pass. You can see the quandary on the part of Kentucky. Do you double team or not? Well, if you don't double team, he can go either way and make the basket.
What's great is he reads the double without either hand delivery. Little nickel dimer, I believe Horford maybe.
There's Billy Donovan. Remember 1987, Providence leading him into the Final Four. Talk about a guy that could really shoot the basketball. Billy, as they say, could see.
And he still looks to me like he's in shape where he could play and play pretty well. He's in great physical condition.
I remember him at Providence when he wasn't in shape. And then Rick Pitino came in and carved him into the stud he is right now.
Azubuike, Morris, Rondo, Hayes, and Sparks.
Nice show, and look at the rotation by Horford. That's great defense. Good call as well. You know, Billy's dad normally goes to all the games, sits at the end of the bench. He's home. They moved from the North Fork to Rockville Center, but unfortunately he did not help with the packing of the bag, so they've got a little difficulty at home. But you can see the great denial there by Horford. Great anticipation on the rotation.
If you're going to double team, you better have somebody rotate to the closest guy or you're in deep trouble, and Horford did it very well.
Lee with a little show. Look at this hustle.
Roberson with the steal. And he's fouled. Rondo knocks him to the floor, helps him up.
And that's what I see more of. Florida's guys running over to help their teammate. It's a different attitude.
15:56 to play in the first half. Gators on top of the Cats, 7-2. March Madness officially begins today at 6 with the selection show. Greg Gumbel and company will have it all for you. And there's the countdown clock. CBS Sports Line's free bracket manager is back. Follow results live, check standings, and post messages in a private website for your group. Get started today at cbssportsline.com. 7-2, Gators on top of the Cats. Kentucky 0 for 4 to start this game. They shot 38% in the first half yesterday. Florida with the basketball.
It's important that we not get foul problems either. He's a competitive rebounder at the other end, but also his offensive ability.
And here's Kentucky now in a 2-3 zone. They've shown this a couple of times in this tournament, mostly very successfully.
Now they switch back. It looks like at least they're matching maybe, Dan.
Bradley and Orbzut in the game. Kentucky. Moss banks it home. Nice interior passing.
How about a slip pass by Green? His daddy could never do that. That's easy finish it.
Sidney Green, the father of Dorian Green. Here's Sparks bumped up top. Adrian Moss picks up the foul.
I guess it's really interesting. We talked about David Lee. He's really come out here with a lot of energy in this game on the offensive boards, on the defensive boards, and making his presence felt on the inside early.
Moss picked up the foul, his first third-team foul against the Gators.
Orbzut does a nice job screening. Had a good day yesterday, Dan. A solid contributor. Rebounding.
The guy made a lot of mistakes early, Bill, and Tubby was a little uncomfortable playing, but as he's cut down those mistakes, he's really contributed.
Azubuike banking one home. Nice pass from Chuck Hayes.
Yeah, that's just a little bit. That's the deployment. They put Orbzut up high and let everybody else work down on the box.
And that's the kind of ball movement that Tubby Smith stresses time and time again. He stomps and fumes over there when the ball doesn't go quickly from side to side.
He's not in Calipari's league with the stomping, but no, pretty good at it.
Lee strip, and here come the Cats. Bradley.
They want a running game, guys. That's what Tubby told us. Push in, see if you can get Florida to go up and down. Little woo-woo.
Bradley for three. Orbzut there, got a hand on it, but Moss pulls it out of the air. Roberson, stop and start, and draws the foul. And Anthony Roberson, point guards always want to be able to change speeds. Isaiah Thomas was great at it.
It's illegal, though. He's got too many gears, hasn't he? I mean, there's that little hesitation to blow by. And you know what I love about him? He doesn't mind taking a hit. He sticks his chin right in there and yet can make plays as well, man.
Well, he's strong enough that once he gets hit, Bill, he can finish the play.
Chuck Hayes picked up the foul, second team foul against Kentucky. Roberson averaging 21 points per game in SEC play this season, 18 overall this year.
Brandon Bass has a body I used to have when I was younger. What a year he's had, then. What a terrific talent. There's Baby Shaq alongside of Glenn Davis. What a formidable club LSU was. They're going to be a tough team in the tournament, don't you think?
Well, I actually absolutely agree with you, Bill. I don't think that there are very many teams in the country that have inside guys who can match up with those two from LSU.
Physically imposing. Extending the floor now, Florida, guys.
Bradley trapped in the backcourt, and that's what makes Chuck Hayes such a good player. So versatile. Can bring it up the floor, put it on a dime, Orbzut will head to the line.
You've just got to love him. If you've ever played basketball, Chuck Hayes is all about winning. 105 career starts. Incredible. I think the highest percentage of anybody that's played that many games in the country. And there's a pass by your power forward.
Incredible. Well, he's won 85% of the games in which he has participated. And when you have one of your big guys back there helping out against the press, that shows you how much confidence the coach has. Not only his ability to handle the ball, but his ability to decide what to do with the ball. Confident he's not going to throw it away.
So Adrian Moss picked up the foul, and that's his second, fourth team foul against the Gators.
Michael Lenerski from Mississippi State was his teammate over in Poland. I never saw them play over there, by the way. But pretty good level of basketball. Lenerski was a terrific player for Mississippi State.
First Polish player in the history of the Kentucky program. Here's Green now. He's a lot of minutes as the backup point guard. Walsh off the dribble.
And he knew it was Sparks. What a heady play. This kid uses dunks and screens in an extraordinary fashion, but also you got to know who's guarding you. You can plumb bob on a smaller guy.
13-4 Gators. Now Hayes wheeling inside. Tied up, and they will jump it up. Florida gets it back. Well, watch Matt Walsh coming off the screen.
Well, watch what he's going to do. He's going to come right around here because he knows that he's got Sparks against him. And he bumps off that screen. Sparks is in pretty good position, but Sparks is only 6'1". He's too small. And Walsh knows that and gets it in the basket.
And, you know, the other thing, they ran it away from the shooting hand. So he's got his body to protect. If Sparks wants to come across, he's going to foul him.
Now Kentucky trying to change the tempo on the defensive end, picking up full court.
This is a Kentucky team that leads the SEC in turnovers forced and also leads the SEC in fewest turnovers themselves. So they really like to generate turnovers, get down the other end and score quickly.
But against Florida, they had 17 turnovers in the last game. That's not Kentucky-style basketball. Nice ball fake.
Horford, Brewer in the corner, frees himself with the ball fake and knocks down a 20-footer.
Well, they could really spread the D. Can't they? Drive, throw, kick, get the puppy sense.
And that's one thing that they've had in this tournament. I mentioned that a couple of minutes ago. Brewer has become a solid fourth offensive option for him.
Only a freshman from Portland, Tennessee, a steal. Green had a hand on it. It squirts out, and somehow Bobby Perry finds it and takes it home.
That's a fortuitous roll of the pill.
Perry, a sophomore from Durham, North Carolina, the second unit yesterday against LSU, playing such a vital role. Joe Crawford, the kid from Detroit, coming in, scoring a career-high 14. Offensive rebound and foul inside. Horford sweeping it off the rim.
How fast that? Impressive stats. They went 2-3 zone. That's a dangerous thing with this, the way this Florida team shoots, but getting after the glass. I know you had serious hops when you played, Dan. This might put you to shame, huh?
Well, this kid really gets after the basketball. They say that he's a pretty good shooter, but he doesn't need to shoot. He just comes down the lane. Nobody blocks him out. And when you're his size, I mean, he's 6'8", 225, very athletic. You got to find him.
Well, I don't know if Tito could get after the ball like that. Dan, former Miami player. Jess, you probably called some of his pro games with the Bucks.
Actually, I did. Horford at the line, and the foul called on Crawford, his first. And that is the third team foul against Kentucky.
So, Bill, you're telling me that Gus called the games of a guy whose son is now playing. I'm going to have to review my view of Gus as a young announcer.
I'll tell you what, that plastic surgery just served him well.
Second one for Horford. No good. Richards there. Oh, wow! With the
rearrangement. They are into this game, and Kentucky better step it up emotionally. You'll see a lot of subs if they don't. Here's a guy, I just love his game. Dan does a lot of things on both ends of the floor, can bite you with a jump shot, put it on the floor, guard his guy.
That was a critical shot, but Bill, you're absolutely right. So far in this game, the energy level is all Florida.
Roberson again. The floater, no. Rebounded. Humphrey.
And he can shoot it.
Roberson, catch and shoot. Brewer there. Richards there. That's it home.
A lesson. Clean it up the glass.
Well, they're just wearing them out. Tubby Smith calls his timeout. Florida to 3.
Out-rebounded. 20-9. Gators with the lead. And watch Florida attack the glass.
The energy. Florida put the show on. They want it more right now. Kentucky has to match it.
Gators on top of the Wildcats, 29 here in the SEC Championship. Coming up next, the Big Ten Championship, Wisconsin and Illinois. And that will be the third meeting of the season between those two teams. Illinois is dominated, winning both. 11:34 to go in the first half. Gus Johnson, Dan Bonner, and the governor, Coach Raftery.
I guess 10 Florida players have been in the game. He's trying to match the Kentucky depth. Don't give him the looks.
Sparks, 1 of 11 from the three-point line in 2 meetings against the Gators this year.
Gus, that's really a good point. Florida just does not give Sparks very many good looks at the basket. They stay close to him. Just sit on that shooting hand.
You know what they do on the catch? They're right there.
Right,
too.
got to be right there on the catch. But see, Larry Shyatt, the assistant, used to be the head coach of Clemson, the new assistant in Florida. He's really big on being there on the catch.
Lee not wasting any time on the double.
Roberson, guarded by Rondo.
Murray's got a tough matchup with Humphrey, who can shoot it. It's a long way to go.
Humphrey had 2 threes yesterday. Noah working inside, and he got caught wrapping his arm around.
Did you teach him that in New York?
He is a New York City kid.
Another famous daddy as well.
Son of Yannick Noah. And the numbers on Sparks this season versus Florida, 1 of 11 from downtown.
There's two interesting numbers there, Gus. Obviously, the one, he's only made one, but he's only had 11 attempts in games against Florida. They prevent him from getting the shots, and when he gets them, they're tough ones.
He's a winner, though. That kid will do a lot of other things to help you decide the outcome.
Boy, Kentucky really struggling on offense. They need to get the ball in the basket a couple of times.
Look at the rotation by Brew. They double, get back, force a tough shot, and look at Lee. Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee. Cleaning it.
Roberson the other way. Hangs in the air, no good. Knocked out of bounds, last touch by the Gators.
See, that's good officiating, though. Some people may have called that a foul. Did knock it out. Go the other way.
One of the things that I think Florida's got to be concerned about, if they're going to run like that and they want to get transition baskets, but if they're going to get out like that, Billy Donovan wants his guys to score on those plays. With this depth factor, and you're talking about Florida's playing a lot of guys, but with the depth factor, he doesn't want his guys to run unproductively.
Had a chance to talk to Gerald Boudreau before the game, the official, and he said we want to let these kids play this afternoon. The officiating has been excellent in this tournament here in Atlanta.
The kids know what to expect. That's very important. And coaches.
Rondo with the step. Sparks frees himself, rise and fire. And he hits it.
So much for that stat you guys brought up.
Yeah, but he was inside the two.
Looking on him.
Brewers did a great job running at him, making him step inside the three-point arc.
And now the Kentucky fans get into it, rising to their feet.
And Walsh, with this matchup, should give it up and keep moving. He can get himself a look.
Here's Walsh, quick release. Horford, offensive rebound, and he's fouled from behind. Horford had 8 rebounds yesterday, and he is a glad cleaner.
Hey, Dan, he was checked out and didn't foul. How many guys can do that?
Only guys who are very, very good. There's not many, but this young, boy, what a future he's got.
Pogo sticks.
Oh.
But Chuck Hayes picked up his second foul, 4th team foul against Kentucky. 20-11. Now the Cats in a zone. Walsh.
Lee's an excellent passer out of this, too.
Inside, got his own rebound, and Morris finally comes up with it.
Well, there's trouble in the backcourt there.
Not good spacing, would you say?
I would say there's that.
Sparks for 3. And Horford with yet another rebound. 7 rebounds for Al Horford in the first half. Roberson stop and start.
Well, that's that gear you mentioned, Gus. And he gets the nickel dimer. A little bit out of frustration.
Boy, when this guy is coming at you, you just don't know what to expect. Just coming down the court here, Rondo's trying to guard him, and Rondo, one of the quickest guys in the SEC, and Roberson just goes right by. In fact, I think he went by so easily, he was a little surprised, expected more contact, didn't get it.
You know you're in trouble when you're guarding the guy and you're inhaling smoke.
First foul on Roberson, 16 foul against the Gators, 8:55 to play in the first half.
Now, when you're guarding a guy, you want to be looking at Florida, not Roberson. You know, you don't.
Nice step and go by Morris, trying to establish a little bit of a high-low in a post game.
Rondo picked up the dribble, almost traveled Azabuki. Beautiful look by Rondo. And Kentucky now showing signs of life after a slow start. They're 5 of 13 from the field. 2013.
You never know who's going to be on the floor. Kentucky Thomas in there now. You're going to give everybody an opportunity to expect their best or they go out.
Walsh to the bucket. And a foul on the baseline.
Rondo really does a nice job for Kentucky getting into the lane with that quickness. This time a good jump stop, actually a little off balance by the time he completes the play, but he drew the defense to him, passed it back behind.
Billy Donovan spent the first couple of years at Marshall, and he's very familiar with Tubby Smith.
He sure is. He was a graduate assistant when Tubby was the assistant to Rick Pitino in Kentucky. He thanks Tubby for going to Tulsa. He got elevated and eventually marshaled to Florida. And now the dean of the SEC coaches. Did I read that right?
Yes, that's hard to imagine.
I am getting old. He's dyeing his hair or I'm getting real old.
Pushing foul on the baseline.
I don't think he's dying his head.
Goes against Thomas. And that's Cheret's first foul. 15th foul against Kentucky.
Meister, what an extraordinary job. Guarding, responding. And you gotta love it if you're on the bench. You're gonna get a shot.
Well, he's already played 12 guys. He's played 12 guys in 12 minutes.
Here's Green. Looking for Walsh in the corner. Walsh drives to the basket. The teardrop. Oh, Richard and Lee. How about both jammed it down?
And a point each.
Nice draw by Walsh. Got two people over, and then the completion.
And a foul and one. Thomas will go to the line and shoot a free throw.
You keep searching for somebody who's going to score on the box. That's what's great about Tubby's philosophy. This time it's Thomas.
7:43 to play in the first half. 22-15. Florida leading Kentucky. All right, a look at the game summary.
Well, and the big thing you see there, the offensive rebounds for Florida, 11 offensive rebounds. We haven't played 13 minutes in this game, and 9 second chance points. Bill, we talked before the game about the hustle plays Florida's making.
It's all about attitude. You know, I had some teams that never spoke to me. this Florida
They couldn't get a word in. Like me.
You weren't going to competitive for this purpose. But don't you love Florida's overall outlook in this game?
Oh,
I mean, they're
great.
hustling, scrambling, making the extra pass, but Kentucky knows how to finish games.
Gators playing with great energy to start this ball game, but you're absolutely right, Coach. 4 times this season, Kentucky has rallied from double-digit deficits to claim victory. At home against Florida in early February, Kentucky was down by 11 in the first half before rallying for a 69-66 win. They were down by 11 early here.
Gus, interestingly, Kentucky just keeps coming at you. I had them at Alabama a couple of weeks ago, and they were down by double digits in the second half, and they came back and won the game.
Richard inside, rejected. Beautifully done by Azubuike. And Azubuike almost touched the top of the Georgia Dome. He got up.
This kid does everything. We talk about Chuck Hayes. He can step it up offensively a little bit more, but there's a wonderful reaction. The press works. You force a tough shot, or you negate at the rim, and oh my goodness, you deserve to whoop a little after that one.
Well, that's how you press. That's why your press is effective. They beat you down the court. They have a one-on-one, but they can't score.
Azubuike off the dribble, and a whistle, offensive foul call. Brewer sliding in and taking the charge.
Now, keep in mind, this is a Florida team under Billy Donovan that's traditionally known for their ability to score. But they have really turned it up defensively this year. After being 11th in the SEC in points allowed last year, they were 3rd this year.
And how about 41% they limit the opponent to field goal percentage?
Roberson guarded by Rondo. He's got Walsh, Richard, Lee, and Brewer on the floor with him.
Thomas has done a nice job on Lee in the box. He isn't able to get touches. When he does, he disperses the basketball beautifully.
Brewer, off-balance jump shot, rattles down.
That's great recognition. He sees he's matched up against Sparks.
Ooh, not a good look in anticipation of Sparks going to the rim. He stopped.
Near the end of today's game, we will select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. To honor their determination and outstanding play, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy, an American Revolution.
Kentucky really doesn't look very sharp on the offensive end, really starting and stopping. Not much continuity so far.
This is where the double is, and I think it's
Brewer.
a tribute to what Florida's been doing on both ends of the floor.
I think Florida defensively is what caused this disruption of the Kentucky flow.
Thomas has it taken away. Horford just ripped it out of his hands, and Thomas picks up the foul.
You know, maybe some residual impact of that tough game against LSU as well. I mean, they left it all out here yesterday. Not that it was easy for Florida. Okay?
For Kentucky, 3 straight turnovers, their last 3 trips down the floor.
These are the numbers we're talking about with Florida's defense. And one thing that people oftentimes don't think about defensively is those blocked shots. And Florida doing a much, much better job blocking shots. You add a guy like Horford, really, really helps you defensively.
And in our little meeting with Tubby, he was saying there were 7 blocked shots in the last Florida game in that loss by Kentucky. So that really gets you to change your thinking, your thought process, and look at the aggressive hand. He's always been a big deflection guy, too, which goes back to Rick Pitino as well. That's just faulty ball handling, Gus.
Well, but that's hard to do. Most of the time, it's really difficult to take the ball out of the guy's hand while he's holding it. The official almost always calls a foul. Now, clearly, that wasn't a foul, but it takes the guy some quickness with his hands to strip the ball away from the guy.
Horford, 1-2 from the line. Thomas picked up his second free throw.
A rack screen lob, a pretty good D, and Thomas loads up. Look at the footwork. This is a lot of effort by Florida.
Well, they're doing a nice job because Kentucky really doesn't have any openings. That is a long, long shot.
Joe Crawford knocking down the 3. He had the best game of his career. The freshman from Detroit yesterday, coming off the bench to score 14 points, a career high in 17 minutes.
He's an example of a kid finding himself, coming back. Now he's a Kentucky guy. Has his head about him. A little disenchanted because he wasn't getting the status maybe early, but now an effective contributor.
Roberson, in and out. Brewer with a hand on it, out of bounds, Kentucky ball.
You know, you're talking about defensively, you know, how far out do you guard a guy? He's out there by the SEC. Walsh, there's no way Walsh thinks he's going to shoot that ball.
Well, Walsh looks like me. You'd rather not get the guy to put it on the deck and embarrass you, put a little lingerie down, let him shoot it, but he did challenge.
Chuck Hayes got all of the highlights yesterday, but it was the bench that really played well as Azubuike flashes down the lane and draws a foul, banking it home.
Now, Gus, that's impressive, that particular play. Earlier, he went right. I mentioned he's got the ability to go left. The sacroiliac would be out on most of us.
Well, watch the stop here.
How about that? And then the power to the 10.
You know, he's sort of going in one direction and then comes the other direction to stop. If you're going to build a 6'5" basketball player, there's your prototype right there. He is a great, great-looking kid.
Are you thinking about going into that business?
No, it could be a good business.
You get a lot of callers.
Kentucky now on a 12-5 run. We got the peanut gallery here. 25-21. Gators. Here's Lee.
This is where he's
side walk, steps into a 3. Halfway down, pops out, and a foul on the floor underneath.
Richard was held. Lee does a great job. And speaking of Lee, there's a high school that's doing very well. Your son won the state
Robert E. Lee High School in Stanton, Virginia, won the Virginia AA State Championship yesterday. Thank you for allowing me to get that in.
And Tubby Smith can't believe that the foul was called.
Well, he
side against his cat.
Right, it was called against Morris, and Morris did grab on to Richard. Kentucky really having a hard time keeping Florida off the board, Bill, and I think one reason is the Florida guys just have been aggressive from the start of the game. They just keep going at the board.
Quicker, reacting. Tubby really screamed out on that particular play, but I also think trying to get his guys excited, get involved in this game.
Morris picked up his first foul. 27-21. Kentucky has failed by as many as 11 here in the first half.
Nice blitz here. Look at the scramble in the rear.
Somebody has to be open. Great pass by Spark to Thomas.
And you know, a great screen off as well to protect the rotation.
But Sparks knew where the open guy was. He was smothered over there. There's no way he could have seen that clearly, but he knew where the open guy was and did a great job getting the ball all the way across the defense.
Here's Lee. And travels.
Well, the ability to read, they did not harass the passer enough over here.
Well, and you get the open area over there.
Watch this hold off right here, though, Dan. That's what really set it up. Richard can't get back. I mean, that's just excellent basketball. Defensively, reacting, but better offense.
So Patrick Sparks, the junior from Central City, Kentucky, transferred from Western Kentucky, sat out last year and paid his own tuition to be a member of this Kentucky ball club. Now he has a scholarship and he's turned out to have a terrific season for Chubby Smith.
After the Louisville game, he'll get whatever he wants when he graduates. I assure you, the best job in the state.
Crawford with the rebound.
But Crawford has been so active the last couple of years.
Azubuike and a foul.
They got
Offensive.
a little bit out of control. Trying to make a play, though.
So Kalina Azubuike picks up the foul, but Kentucky right back in this game. 27-23, under 4 to go. Final 4 and a shot at $1 million coming right out of the pocket of Bill Raftery.
That's news to me.
Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, Seth Davis will join us at halftime. They'll have scores and highlights. Billy Donovan and the Gators. And they have all come up a little short in the SEC title game.
Gus, the SEC was founded in 1932, and the Florida Gators have never won the SEC tournament championship.
Incredible. Of course, in my in-depth research, I don't know how he kept his white shirt so sparkling.
Here's Roberson now running the high pick and roll with Richards. Walsh fires. Richards there, offensive rebound, but can't tip it in.
You know, recently, the last few minutes, there have been a number of plays that Florida has gotten to the goal and has not finished. They may pay for that later on.
You think fatigue. I think Marsden do a good job checking out the other end, but here, with the footwork, and doesn't finish.
Richards got the rebound, lost it. Lee hits the deck and somehow gets the Brewer. Now Walsh fires a three, and that one is good.
Well, they will opportunity break in an intelligent fashion. They're not going to woo-woo and get up and down. That doesn't sound like a couple of years ago with Florida. They used to push and press and deflect.
Walsh is a much better shooter stepping into it like he did off the break. Oh, Roberson a bad spot.
Well, you always like us. When we talk about Chuck Days, I think Lee's attitude has been incredible. They say Billy spoke to him in January. He said, let's go out with a little style, get after it. It's just a magnificent outlook. And Walsh, the little Irish guy, get the puppy's head at the open floor. Some nylon.
So David Lee picks up the foul, and Bradley will shoot three. Actually, the foul called on Roberson is second.
But the more important question, Gus, is how does a 6'6" guy get referred to as the little Irish guy?
He's a big guy that can definitely shoot the ball. Bradley missing the first.
Well, one of the scouts was telling me that he learned really to be competitive. Not that he learned to be competitive, but in Philly, Hakeem Warwick used to go down in the neighborhood and compete. He just understands how to get free without the basketball.
Now subs coming into the game. Green for the Gators, along with Lee Humphrey, the sophomore from Maryville, Tennessee. Roberson and Brewer take a seat. Bradley gets the third free throw to go, and a turnover on the inbound play.
That little miscommunication I love about Lee, though. Right away, he's saying to him, don't even worry about it. He was expecting Green to come to the basketball. Torrey just zigged when he should have zagged.
The Kentucky bench is 5 of 7, 15 points. Here's Sparks backing his way down.
And they've got a small lineup in the game now.
And Sparks took a hit. It was chatting to the official.
Crawford hard to the basket, the runner.
Good call.
And he traveled.
One of the things you want to be afraid of, or you want to stay away from if you're Tubby Smith in Kentucky, you don't want to be forcing plays. And there have been a couple of times recently where Kentucky's gotten themselves into trouble trying to force something that's not there.
Well, this use of the bounce, Gus, is what gets a lot of teams in trouble.
Kentucky has turned it over 8 times.
Nice play by Sparks.
Humphrey, wide open. Green fires. Off the heel. Tapped by Lee, and a foul. Lee over the back. Bobby Perry doing a nice job boxing him out.
We talked about Kentucky with the small lineup, and when you're going to play small, you've got to get great position, and Perry just does a great job. That's the guy you're talking about, Bill, how you really like Perry in his game. Got Lee behind him, sometimes a bigger guy. You think, well, I'll just slap it away from this smaller guy. That's an easy call for an official.
He's worked his way into a lot of minutes. Yes, he's become a talented performer.
As Lee picks up his first foul, 10 team fouls against the Gators, so Perry will shoot
Intriguing that he's a Durham kid, huh? Speaking of Durham, Duke's still alive. The ACC with Georgia Tech.
How about that Georgia Tech win yesterday against Carolina? Terrific game.
How about this city? Everybody regaling in that win.
That's really interesting. I think that gives a perfect example of how going to the championship game last year, what that means for Georgia Tech, that you got Atlanta, really a pro town. Now they're talking about college basketball.
Kentucky with 17 points off the bench, only 10 by their starters. They're down by 3 after trailing by 11.
Post-up Walls going to do some damage on Crawford.
Walls turnaround jumper in the paint, and he gets the bounce.
Harris touched it.
Interesting. How about Billy D? A little pro attitude, huh? The big guard, or the big forward in that case, at 6'6" against the smaller Crawford.
Walsh with 7 points, 3 of 8 from the field. 32-27, under 2 minutes to play. Now Sparks facing up on Humphrey. Tries to beat him to the baseline. The kick, Perry.
Look at Sparks. I love the way he comes up with the loose stuff, gets himself an open look.
And fires. Richards, though, clears it from the weak side.
Ooh, gotta like these young guys that Florida can bring in the game, particularly on the boards. They understand their role. They're not looking to score a lot of points. They just go to the board.
They attack there, you're right. Inside curl, right to Richards, goes strong.
Jump hook, count it. Big fella with a rebound on one end and the basket on the other. And the Gators go up 34-27.
How simple was that, man?
Right, but it's that activity you're talking about. You keep moving without the ball, generally pretty good things happen.
Bradley step back jump shot.
That's not what they need.
And a timeout called by Florida. A minute and 10 to play. 34-27. This is the SEC championship game between Florida and Kentucky. Let's take a look at the Applebee's neighborhood favorite. We go back 72 years to February 28, 1933, where head coach Adolph Rupp led the Kentucky Wildcats to a 46-27 victory over Mississippi State in the very first SEC championship. Kentucky has won 25 conference tournament titles, more than half of the championships played. And during that year, 72 years ago, Bill Raftery faced Adolph Rupp with the Seton Hall Pirates. You were there, right?
I actually did meet Adolph up at Kutcher's.
Did you?
Tried to entice me to Kentucky, but was not interested. Of course, we saw Pat Riley, who's been around scouting. Larry Conley also. Rupp Runts, Louis Dampier. Imagine Louis Dampier with a three-point line. Forget about it.
You can think of a lot of guys that could really shoot the ball. You imagine what they would have done with the three-point line. Well, Louis Dampier's one of them. Rick Mount's another one.
How about Pete Maravich?
Pete Maravich.
Jerry West.
Yep.
Right? Oscar didn't matter. He got 3-point.
Perry with the steal. Bobby Perry to the basket, blocked from behind by Brewer. Great recovery. And the ball knocked out of bounds. Kentucky will hold on. But Corey Brewer at 6'8" used his wingspan to track down Bobby Perry.
And Dan, how about the intelligence on this block?
Well, he does a great job closing the ground and then gets and slaps it away. He doesn't get the body in there. And this is what you're talking about, Bill. He goes behind him, just uses that long arm, slaps it down
with his left hand.
Kept it in play as well off the glass, a la Bill Russell.
Now Sparks lobs it in the post. Ball knocked out of bounds. Richards gets a hand on it with 42.7 seconds remaining.
Great defense. Huh?
Great defense, but another forced kind of play. You don't need that play. Move the ball from one side to the other and then throw it in there.
Or at least dribble down and get a better angle.
Absolutely. You have to make a perfect pass to get it in on that particular occasion with that lob without having the ball move around.
Crawford finds Sparks. And Sparks' shot won't go down. Brewer in transition, and he backs it out.
Great to see.
Hey, how about Green leaving Sparks to help out? He shouldn't have at that end. He dodged one in a heads-up play at this end.
Sparks looks like he's going just a little too fast, trying to get the shot off before Florida gets there. The one time where he faked and went in is better.
15 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Gators will play for one shot. Shot clock turned off. 8 to go. Here's Green. Bounces it. Richards, 4 seconds. Humphrey in the corner. An air ball. Brewer gets a hand on it, and that's it. Florida shoots 36%. Kentucky 37%. Stubby Smith's bench kept them in this game at halftime. It's the Gators 34 and the Cats 27. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel standing by in New York.
Sports coverage of the SEC Championship is sponsored by New Degree for Men. For men who take risks, it won't let you down. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood. Applebee's. And by Comfort Inn. New face, same friendly place.
34-27, Gators on top of the Wildcats after one half. Gus Johnson, Dan Bonner, and Coach Raftery. Florida, 20 minutes away from their first ever tournament title.
And I think 13 offensive rebounds, Bill, in the second half, like they had in the first half, it helped them.
How about Richard and Horford? I mean, so impressed. Young blood. We could use a little youth and exuberance out there. I think Lee is a little bit fatigued, though. We mentioned that stamina factor. Kentucky does not pack the tack. That's a track term, by the way. You're always in the race with this team.
And when you look at this Kentucky team, they played an overtime game yesterday, so they could be out of gas. But let's take a look at the first half highlights, or the first half statistics, rather, brought to you by Bud Light.
And those 13 offensive rebounds, 9 second chance points. And you notice the Kentucky, though, with the bench points. Keep in mind that Kentucky played 12 guys in the first half. Florida, their bench, they played 10 guys in the first half. So it's just a situation where Tubby Smith, I think, very comfortable. He's been behind against Florida each of their previous 2 games as well. Rather be ahead, but I think he feels comfortable with his ability to come from behind. As a Buki there, about the only starter shooting a very good percentage.
And Florida has learned to close out games the last month as well. So sit back and enjoy.
Kentucky with the basketball to start the second half. And for the second straight day, the Cats shoot 38% in the first half. Yesterday, they hit 56% in the second half.
It should go the other way. They're going to get this wrong. Lee's going to get it a little post up with some aggressiveness by Hayes. Gets the officials' attention. He was swimming a little bit.
And Hayes already has 2 personal fouls. You can see his arm come around behind him.
That's an easy call. It should be the other way.
Boy, that would have been 3 personal fouls on Hayes. Boy, that's a tough shot.
David Lee picks up his second. Roberson the other way, quickly down the lane. Great pass. Horford, nice backhand layup.
Your point, the catch. I mean, that's close proximity and still able to snare it.
That ball was whistling right at his nose from about 2 feet away as he snared it.
This zone causing Kentucky all kinds of problems. Rondo.
Now that's the guy you want shooting the ball if you're Florida.
Nice hustle play here. They're quick to the basketball.
Lee with his 9th rebound. 36-27. Roberson, 5 points in the first half. Baseline lead.
That was that All-Americans play, screen to screen, and then a pin down on Walsh. Lee opted.
Sparks, great ball fake.
We see how they run at him so he can't get that 3 off.
And Morris draws the foul inside. Horford got him. Kentucky 0 for their last 9 from the field.
Roberson and that ability to change gears can get into the lane. This is a great pass to Horford. How he caught that ball, I have no idea. Maybe the reason he dribbles it there, which is not really a smart move, maybe the reason he dribbles it there is just so he can control it, get some balance.
Horford picks up his 3rd foul. And Morris off the mark on his first free throw attempt. Horford checks out. And here comes Moss.
And Morris 60% from the free throw line. He's going to get better at that. Great body for basketball, power kind of a player.
It has hurt Kentucky, though, Bill, that he has not scored today.
Missed the pair somehow. That one gets tipped in. I think like a Gator tipped it in.
I think they'll give it to Azubuike being the nearest guy.
Yeah, but I think it actually went in off Lee's hands because he and Moss sort of fumbled it around.
Roberson, Brewer, Walsh, Moss, and Lee. Here's Walsh from downtown.
And Sparks nowhere in vicinity. That proves the footwork, the cutting ability, and the pinning, the screening of Florida.
Walsh with 7 points on 3 of 8 shooting. Up Chuck Hayes, backing his man in, jump hook, left hand, can't get the bounce.
Close flying, Moss got to be careful.
Florida has been able to make Kentucky play half-court offense against the set Gator defense. Kentucky has not been able to knock down the outside shot. Sparks
and Moss before. He's got to be careful. Versus Georgia, he moves those elbows and gets contact with people. Could be called for a flagrant. Be aggressive, but intelligent.
Azubuike called for a foul, chasing Walsh. That's his third.
And right here, this great screen, Dan. I mean, I just love the way he uses the hole there. He sets his guy up beautifully.
Florida just seems to have been in a flow throughout most of the game today. They missed a couple of opportunities close to the basket midway through the first half.
Roberson straight away. Wow, what a deep shot. And Morris comes up with the rebound.
He made one of those yesterday.
Nice pass. Rondo to Azubuike.
And Azubuike ran the floor, the beneficiary of a terrific look.
The long shot with the long rebound allows Kentucky to get out and do what they want to do, and that is get down the court, score before Florida can set the defense.
Bad shots of the first outlet pass on a fast break.
8 points for Azubuike. Make that 10 and a turnover.
Look at aggressive play.
Azubuike from Rondo. Counted and the foul.
And there's Kentucky suddenly out in transition. That's got the crowd in the game, and the Wildcats seem to be rolling.
And Billy D calls the timeout. Aggressive play. Azubuike, he has shown us his ability. Now, this is up for grabs. I wanted more. And then the unselfish play, you're generally the recipient when you give it up to your pal. Some strength, a little kiss, and a chance for another.
CBS Sports coverage of the SEC Championship.
(39-33), Gators with the lead. Kentucky trying to come back, and let's take a look at the conference breakdown.
Right now, you have one guy that jumps out. Of course, is Vermont. Tom Brennan learned at the knee of Rolly Massimino. Coach will be actually Jimmy Boeheim a chance, huh? Stepping in, beat Connecticut in 1, and Washington. Watch out for them, by the way, and Arizona. I think they're two terrific. Washington's got 8 players. Brendan Roy is a sub of great talent. Should be an exciting NCAA, guys.
Azubuike has scored the last 6 points for Kentucky. He has 12 now. Adds the free throw. 39-34. Kentucky is trailed by as many as 11 in this game as Crawford comes in, replaces Azubuike.
Tubby likes fresh legs out there. And Crawford deserves the minutes. And give his talented performer a blow.
Kentucky played 11 different players in the first half, and Roberson turns it over. Here comes Bradley into the front court. Inside, Morris, nice catch, got it up, fouled, and will go to the line.
Hayes stood up lead, created the turnover at the other end, and then they go power. And that's Kentucky basketball, that high-low, the little loop to the tin, and go get it.
But again, Bill, I think the thing that you're talking about here is that they're able to get out a little bit on the break. There is the steal. Now all of a sudden the ball's going the other way. Great job by Bradley to push it up. And that wasn't your classic fast break, but that's what you call transition basketball. You get down before the defense is ready and you just pump that thing inside.
Adrian Moss picks up his 4th foul. One more for Morris. Gets it to fall. 39-36, full court pressure. Kentucky.
They're doing a great job denying Walsh. Eases the pressure.
Roberson, Walsh, Lee, Moss, and Brewer. Roberson, quiet offensively. Only 5 points. Pull-up jump shot in traffic, no. Morris clears it.
What a great job checking out as well.
Morris hunts it down, almost turned it over.
They got a chance here, 5-on-4 if they want.
Inside Morris, a big freshman. Now Brewer.
Don't have to be in a hurry. So fight you early and then be patient.
Walsh backs it up and resets. 13 to shoot.
Movement without the ball.
And right now Roberson's playing the off guard. Look at this. He's a little fatigued. Off his game. Missed that little lane jumper.
inhaling a little bit, little cut.
39-36 Gators, but here come the Cats. CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA men's basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Gators by 3, 15:49 to play in the second half. Let's take a look at our All-State Alumni Update.
How about these guys? Now, I remember them. 66. I was at Maryland for Texas Western's great win. Of course, Larry, we saw here the other day. Tommy Cron, successful. Pat Riley. Oh, to have that look. Goodness. And we mentioned Louis, Pat Jarrett's. And that was the Bear. Haskins. Great triumph in 66.
So here come the Kentucky Wildcats. Down by 3.
A little different look, and they analyzed it beautifully.
And Hayes pushed inside Brewer.
They're sharp now. I don't know what Tubby said at halftime. They switched to the zone, Dan, and all of a sudden, guy at the foul line dives to the rim.
Well, I think it's a matter of you just keep the guys in there, you keep them fresh. And Florida played a lot of guys in the first half too, but the Kentucky guys, they just sort of expect to win. They don't worry when they get behind. They really haven't tried to force anything, and you saw they've no turnovers in the second half, but they have forced 3.
Corey Brewer picks up his 3rd foul.
And they've started to go inside for touches, too. Use of power basketball. And Lee gets a little bit of a blow as well. Very important to get him rested.
Crawford mishandles. Brewer picks it up, and Crawford commits the foul.
Good foul, though. You got a breakaway.
Right, not a bad foul at all. And Tubby's got all those guys on the bench.
Sure.
Second foul on Crawford.
How about the left-handed pass, though? I mean, across the perimeter there. Hustle play. Crawford, it gives it up wisely for Tubby.
The Kentucky bench doing a terrific job, outscoring the Gator bench 17-8. Florida, no points in the last 2 minutes and 48 seconds. They've turned it over 3 times. Walsh from deep. Rebounded, Bradley.
And those offensive rebounds that came so quickly and in such great numbers in the first half of Florida, just not there in the second.
Chuck Hayes can't get the bounce.
Well, he's letting me down. Earlier, the statement of the best guy in the country to take people to the rim and finish the play. He must be fatigued, Dan.
Well, he took this guy to the rim. Richard is not exactly a small guy, but this is a nice job. Shows you what Kentucky's been doing, getting the ball inside. Early in the game, Bill, as they drove to the basket, the Florida defense collapsing. The Gators, maybe a little bit of fatigue, I don't know, but Florida's defense simply not as intense right now as it was earlier in the game.
One more free throw for Chuck Hayes. Kentucky climbing the mountain after being down by 11. And we have a 1-point game at the SEC Tournament Championship. Kentucky has never led in this game. Humphrey checks out.
Gosh, yesterday Kentucky was down 5 halfway through the overtime period and didn't panic. Came back, won the game.
39-38, Roberson, Horford, Walsh, Green, and Richard.
Hold on the baseline there. Whoever knows you've got to tag Walsh, hug the hip, curl as he curls around.
3rd foul on Crawford.
Well, oh, what do we got here, Bill?
I like your picks better than mine.
Then why did you make yours?
Nobody's picking Kentucky, though.
Well, it's, you know, you're speculating who's going to win. You know, if Duke wins, you know, I think they deserve it. If Kentucky, the Big 12, for example, who knows what's going to happen there? If Oklahoma State wins it, I don't know if Texas Tech gets it or they would get one. They don't listen to us anyhow.
No, of course you don't listen to us, and it's a wise thing to not listen to us, but I don't think Texas Tech can get a 1 seed.
I said no. I said no.
You said no. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Kansas has been the #1 in the RPI all year long, so I still think they can get that.
Nice ball. Nice look inside. Horford tries to power it up, and a foul. My opinion, if Kentucky wins this game, they are a #1 seed. Period.
Who asked you?
Well, how come you didn't get a graphic?
You don't have to ask me. I'm telling you.
Well, you know what? Nobody can argue with you either.
No, absolutely.
You're as right as anybody else. And Tubby didn't like the lateness of that call, but a great look by Walsh. And that's what that curl does, drags people.
Randolph Morris picks up his 2nd. So Horford at the line. take a look at the last play.
Much better movement, both of the ball and of people. And Walsh does such a great job getting into the lane and then finding the open man. Boy, has he drawn a lot of attention.
Hayes came out. He's got a hand hedge, and he just took advantage.
Second free throw, no good. 14:24 to play. 40-38. Florida leading Kentucky. Sparks, Morris, Bradley, Hayes, and Moss. Now Hayes, quick turn on the baseline.
Oh, got to
finish.
Got to finish, Gus.
Great play.
Quick feet. Walsh with a wide open look.
Drive, hang, can't bank it, ripped out of the air. Morris, here comes Sparks. Kentucky with numbers. In the corner, Moss, in and out. Morris, there, hey, the freshman with a beautiful tip in.
And the Pigs didn't match the foot speed.
And we're tied at 40.
Florida did not recover.
13:45 to go. Morris, 4 points, 7 rebounds, playing in his hometown of Atlanta.
Should be a patient trip.
And they turn it over again. Bradley, quickly down the lane. And he can't get it to fall.
They've got to take the air out of it just a little bit right now.
Got to make Kentucky play defense for a few seconds.
The 11-point lead has evaporated for Billy Donovan and the Florida Gators. Kentucky on an 11-1 run.
And Dan, if you don't get back, you've got some major issues. Look at the matchups. Look at all the guys trailing. You got to match the Pigs. Otherwise, they're going to complete around the rim. Kentucky on a tear is fatigue, part of the dilemma.
Tuesday on CBS, the new Amazing Race is scaling new heights. Will the brothers run out of air on a bike trip through the Andes? Don't miss the new Amazing Race Tuesday at 9, 8 Central on CBS. Florida, no field goals in the last 5 minutes and 14 seconds. Roberson looking to get active offensively.
Boy, great help on the inside.
He's not been able to get to the rim and complete. 9.
Kentucky really digging in on the defensive end. Roberson flashing, pulls up, the teardrop off the heel, knocked around, and the freshman Morris with another rebound. His ace.
And he is suddenly asserting himself in this game. Both ends of the court.
Yesterday, Morris, 1 of 5 from the field, no rebounds. Against LSU, different story today for the freshman.
His personality entirely different. Leave a nice job getting around. Got to be careful of the hold.
Chuck Hayes. Morris rebound and stick back. And Kentucky has its first lead of the game. This freshman is playing with reckless abandon in the second half.
And Gus Lee checked him out totally. He's still able to come up with it. 6 points. 9 rebounds. Wow.
And a foul up top. Moss, who's been in Walsh's hip pocket.
And Dan, look at this check out underneath. Lee front. He does a great job, but look at the pursuit underneath.
Well, Morris just does a great job spinning from one side of the basket to the other. Lee had him blocked out perfectly on one side, but with the spin, he's open on the other side.
And Morris, no rebounds yesterday, and I bet Tubby Smith didn't have to say anything to him. He's playing in his hometown. I bet you his friends and his family said, look, fella, you're 6'11". You better get some rebounds tomorrow.
It's hard to hide at that size, but also Tubby's got the best friend in the world, the Pines. You just sit over here, we'll get somebody better, or somebody to do it better.
Morris attended Landmark Christian High School here in Atlanta, McDonald's All-America.
Boy, those defensive numbers there really, really telling. Hard to score if you're turning the ball over.
Well, they have a standing up Lee, hasn't been able to get deep. Not a good look here on the double. One-handed pass, Sparks right in the lane.
Bill, unlike in the first half, Florida throws the ball into Lee. There's no movement. You got 4 guys standing there watching.
Sparks curls down the lane. Right hand. Oh!
Experience. Green unable to get some help in the middle. He's trailing on that play. Sparks is great at turning it into an advantage with the bounce.
Kentucky has exploded on a 15-1 run. Walsh wide open. And that'll quiet this Kentucky crowd.
Boy, he's at a healthy conclusion. He gets you in touch.
13 points for Walsh on 5 of 12 shooting. He's hit 3 threes.
Green is playing Sparks. He'll be very active without the ball. Understands how to beat you with the dribble or with the cut.
That's actually a good matchup for Sparks. They've been playing bigger guys against him. He's had a tough time getting a shot.
Inside. Morris wants to get something going.
Good team.
Good defense by Horford.
That's that shot blocking we talked about in the first half. You just can't assume you're going to just shoot the ball up over the top.
And 45 to play. Dorian Green in the corner. Walsh catch and shoot, and he buries it.
Sparks took a shortcut, and he paid for it. Didn't get the right angle on it.
That was a great catch by Walsh. The ball was actually a little behind him. How quickly did he get the ball into shooting position?
And Florida reclaims the lead, 46 to 44. Walsh 4 of 8 from the three-point line, has 16 points now.
Those are two huge baskets by Walsh to blunt that Kentucky run.
A little double screen for Sparks. Nice entry.
Weak side, Bradley pump fake down the lane. Tipped around, Chuck Hayes had a hand on it, taken away by Green.
Lee is not jumping at all. He is fatigued.
Roberson exploded.
How about that?
He isn't fatigued.
Not at all. Well, that's the way to get out of a little bit of a slump. Take it right to the chin.
Roberson had missed 8 straight shots. 9:48 to play in the second half. The Gators reclaiming the lead on an 8-0 run. Roberson, the young man from Saginaw, scoring.
CBS sports coverage of the SEC Championship is sponsored by new Budweiser Select. Brewed for a crisp taste that finishes clean. Be selective. The first ever G6 and Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA. And by Allstate. Are you in good hands?
48-44, Gators on top of the Cats, 9:38 to play in the second half. February 22nd, Alabama versus LSU produced the SEC Pontiac game-changing performance of the year.
He spots in, shoots the ball away. It is not going to go. Put it in! No! Stick it in! Harvard's win! Harvard's win! It had to go! Milner tipped it in!
This propelled LSU to finish the season with 7 straight wins and a share of the SEC West crown. Pontiac will donate $5,000 to LSU's General Scholarship Fund. What a game yesterday. LSU played so hard. Brandon Bass, what a terrific ball player. Extended the game into overtime with a clutch 2-point field goal at the end of regulation.
How about Ross Nelter, was a Mr. Kentucky basketball player, appropriately so. And a great tip in, a very talented player to match those bookends up front in Davis and Bass.
And that was the game against Alabama. LSU and Alabama, two teams from this conference that'll be really threats in the NCAA tournament.
Not a good play here. Sparks anticipated a better roll to the rim, but they jammed it up defensively.
Isn't it funny? Those 2 3-point baskets by Walsh really has changed the momentum in this game. Florida, all of a sudden, with much more energy. Kentucky not being nearly as efficient.
Walsh, quick release.
I'll tell you, he is moving without the ball. Instead of going to the corner, he went to the lane and just sprinted up and gets those puppies set amazingly quick.
51-44. Walsh exploding in the second half.
We can't guard a 3-point shooter if he's going to shoot the ball that quickly.
That's tough to defend, particularly as he uses the screen.
Now has a Buki.
Too much dribble.
Nice
Ball
play.
knocked away. Great play. Dorian Green bangs it off of Moss's knee.
Very aggressive defense. Great contribution on this play. Just stick your hand and do anything to disrupt. Clever, huh?
It's amazing to me, though, suddenly the energy level, it's like you talked about a heavyweight fight, but it's more like a scale. Energy here, energy there.
Well, getting back in, sometimes you use a lot of energy. It becomes dissipated.
Here's Walsh again. Will he shoot it? Yes, he will. No, inside. Horford. That one flat. Loose ball. Morris
Well, he's
with the rebound.
How aggressive, Gus, huh? Different guy today.
Cats got to get it done now on the offensive end.
They were getting the ball inside earlier with both dribble penetration and passing, and that has stopped suddenly.
They've done a nice job. Hayes was supposed to come up there, pop up, and look down. Not a good play again by Sparks. They're really doing their job on him.
Azubuike down the lane, picks it up, Moss to the basket, and hit. That ends an 11-0 run for the Gators.
Hayes just sealed off Horford. No way any defense could help.
Roberson, Horford, Brewer, Walsh, he's been on fire, pulls up again, and he finally missed one.
But there's that offensive rebounding.
Roberson got it.
Oh, what an aggressive play. Of course, those long jump shots, easier to run down for the offense.
54-46.
Florida's doing a great job on the ball. It's just really hard for Kentucky to find people.
You got to harass. They can be open look here tomorrow.
And Walsh with the rebound. Here's Roberson in transition.
Don't need it. You don't need it.
That's good. On Walsh and Horford really coming slowly up the court.
I was thinking Walsh is waiting for this TV timeout.
No, Walsh is waiting for the ball.
He's okay now.
Absolutely. On offense, you're always fine. Defense, where you're winded and hurt.
Here's Horford forcing his way down the lane, high off the glass, though. Knocked out of bounds.
They're not sure.
And they will jump it up. They'll jump it up.
Possession arrow?
The possession arrow favors the Gators. 7:05 to go. Florida up 54-46. Okay, look at the game summary.
Very interesting. Florida's done a different way in the second half. So you see 15 offensive rebounds, 13 of those coming in the first half. But they've got 7 three-point field goals, 5 of those coming in the second half. And, of course, Walsh leading the way.
March 17th is what? St. Patrick's Day. And why not? The walking and the sharing of the green as Walsh sheds his guys with great cuts. And, you know, Dan, the thought occurs fatigue defensively. Kentucky not getting around screens, not reacting to him on the catch, and he has just decimated them with unerring accuracy.
But I really thought that he was tired. That's really some toughness there.
Walsh 5 of 10 from the three-point line. He scored 12 of Florida's last 20 points this half. So Roberson inbounding on the baseline. 11 on the shot clock. Here's Walsh. Guarded by Rondo now. Walsh off the dribble, leans in. Wow.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Wow, a crawler. He's got it all going.
21 points. Gators on a 16-2 run to take a double-digit lead.
No coffee with that crawler.
They led by as many as 11 in the first half.
Look how quickly Walsh gets out against Sparks. And Walsh, long arms at 6'6". Sparks can't shoot the ball over top of him.
Knocked away, lead. Intended for Hayes. Brewer the other way.
Oh! Wow, I think he got away with a walk, but it was still terrific.
The Florida Gators are 6 minutes and 20 seconds away from their first SEC tournament championship. They had their biggest lead of the game, 58-46.
Harassing the passer and denying in the box area.
Azabuki. Lee with the rebound.
And a fresh lead, too. They rested him.
Well, he doesn't really look all that fresh. He's going up the court breathing pretty heavily.
Well, they're riding Walsh here.
Walsh again, this time posted up across the lane. Stripped and fouled.
And this is second time they slipped him inside. That time a post-up gets him to the free throw line.
And this is that shot where he takes it off the dribble. Rondo, there's nothing more you can do if you're Rondo. That was a tough shot.
And that's the great defense. Harassing the passer, denying in the post, the run out, and how about that little extra set? Take the A train in Atlanta. But nevertheless, the aggressive nature exhibiting itself.
So Walsh at the line, and he finally missed one.
How can these guys make all these threes with people hanging all over? They go to the line.
They like the action, I think. They like the motion.
Well, the motion of the ball going through the basket from the free throw line ought to be exciting.
Yeah, I guess so.
80% free throw shooter on the season. Second one goes 59-46. Kentucky has to dig themselves out of a very deep hole.
And then your point with Sparks and Walsh, now they automatic switch and he gets his first good look.
Still haven't made a three today. But see, now they have Walsh chase him. Now they have the 6'8" Brewer
They
chase.
switched. That's what happened. They crossed exchange. Walsh stayed under. Well, he knows how to use screens, though. Flares, curls, always got a little face. Good. I like this. They get the ball back.
Well, you like it, but what does Walsh think about
Well, Billy D. Yeah, I think this is a good play, though. Inadvertent kind of a whistle or hand in there. I mean, you're going to call that a foul. Maybe in your playground down there in Virginia.
Well, you know, I had a coach at Virginia, a guy named Bill Gibson, who used to say if somebody's shooting the ball really well, you tickle his mustache. And what he meant was you hit him on the nose, and that's exactly what Rondo did.
You were probably a hippie in those days.
Bradley checks into the game. Rondo heads out. Here's Lee, and they don't come help. Drop step on the baseline, no. And the rebound goes to Kentucky, but a travel.
Right now, just aggressive play, all inside people on the miss. How about that note?
Now, he hasn't made one today. You can see 0 for 5.
Greg Silver on top of everything for us out there.
So Kentucky went on a 15-1 run. Since then, Florida has gone on a 19-2 run. Led by Walsh, Lee powering to the bucket.
And he was making those yesterday.
I was just thinking that, Bill. He made every one of those yesterday.
Just a little bit of the bang and catches up 3 days in a row. Very tough for anybody but announcers.
Bradley. Tough shot. Richard with a rebound. Outlet to Brewer. He's got Lee. Brewer down the lane. He doesn't need it, but he wanted it.
He creates it, though, on his own. I mean, he's got that ability to blow by, under control, and then take it, get it in.
Corey Brewer, just a terrific prospect, only a freshman at 6'8" with the wingspan of a condor. And the Gators go up 61-46. This one's getting out of hand now. Azubuike turning. The defense for Florida everywhere now.
And Kentucky really settling for tough shots.
And Lee just fighting through this right now. Big-time rebound.
Gators played Kentucky last Sunday, winning 53-52 in Gainesville. Kentucky won the first meeting of the season at Rupp Arena. Another close ball game, 69-66.
This is a perfect combination of taking runouts when there and then using the clock under 4 at this point.
Walsh just throws it up. And Chuck Hayes brings it down.
Boy, they missed Bradley on a run out. They weren't looking down the court. Bradley was alone.
Kentucky has to start thinking about shooting a three-pointer. But right now, they've got dead legs. Overtime yesterday against LSU in the late game. And right now, the Florida Gators are 3-17 away from their first SEC tournament title. Welcome back. Florida up big, 61-46. Let's check out the CBS Sports Line stat of the game.
3-point field goals, Gus. It's interesting. You see Florida 5 of 9 in the second half. And, Bill, Florida did it with offensive rebounding in the first half. I haven't had very many of those in the second. But this guy, how unbelievable has he been?
Well, it really proves that you don't need the bounce to be a factor. He has set his man up. They've run great screens. Billy D has offense perky to perfection.
Get complete game stats at CBSSportsLine.com. As Corey Brewer at the free throw line. Azubuike with the rebound. 3:13 to play. Kentucky, Florida in the SEC Tournament Championship. Gators looking for their first tournament championship ever. Crawford to the basket, makes it home.
Boy, quick timeout. Florida's defense has been excellent, though.
Very impressive.
3:01 to play. Back after this.
New from Zolco, it's the Suck Up. He never sweats because he doesn't take risks at work.
Hey, Suck Up, knock, knock.
Good one, sir.
That's not the joke, Suck Up.
All right. The Suck Up comes with detachable puckered lips and realistic head nodding action. Also available, the Wuss and Mama's Boy.
Some men never take risks. For men who do take risks, there's New Degree for Men. With twice the protection you need, it won't let you down.
March Madness will officially begin at 6 o'clock Eastern Time when CBS proudly presents the tournament selection show. So let's talk about it as we take a look at the clock. Where does Florida go if they win? Where does Kentucky go if they lose?
Well, I think Kentucky, if they lose, Guts, they obviously drop off of a potential #1 seed. In Florida, they'll be an interesting kind of team to figure out.
Steele, Sparks, and a foul on the baseline. Roberson brought him down.
And this is not over, but continue your thought, Dan.
No, I think with Florida, I don't think they get into the top 4 lines, but they're somewhere in there. I don't see them, even though they win the SEC and they're playing very well. I see them as like a 5-6.
Wow, I think they might get up to a 3 or 4.
Oh, you think?
I do, and I think Kentucky will drop to a 3 or 4. I think they'll be maybe in the same line. I don't know. How about you guys?
I like Florida as a 3, and I like Kentucky if they lose this ball game as a 2. Some people feel here in the SEC that Kentucky is a #1 whether they win this game or lose this game.
Wow, he misses those. You know it's not your afternoon.
Well, now for Kentucky, there's not a tremendous amount of time left in this game, but there is enough time, but they've got to get it turned up defensively.
No timeout now, Billy D, getting everybody organized.
2:44 to play in the second half. 61-48 Gators. Tomorrow it's a great night of television on CBS. Still standing, listen up. Raymond, 2.5 Men, CSI Miami, and David Letterman. Tomorrow here on CBS.
Dan mentioned Larry Shyatt earlier, and he alluded to Anthony Grant setting the tone defensively. What he has done, Billy D, is changing somewhat of the philosophy of, shoot the threes, chuck and duck, to being a sound defensive team, an aggressive rebounding team, and yet taking the opportunity baskets as they trap. I mean, this is a tough adjustment. There's Larry Shyatt, of course, Anthony Grant, Donnie Jones. It's just been magnificent, and the center of it has to be Lee. I think his transformation from being just a guy that wasn't sure of what he wanted to do offensively to being an aggressive performer. And, of course, today Walsh has been incredible.
There's David. And Walsh at the line, but how about Billy Donovan? As we mentioned at the top of our broadcast, 1987. Seems like just yesterday, Billy led Providence under Coach Rick Pitino into the Final Four. Prior to Pitino coming to Providence, he was a doughboy, a chubby kid from Long Island that would practice hard every day at St. Agnes.
You're going to interview him after the game.
He has parents and a wife. I mean, that was Gus Johnson, folks.
I remember watching him in my dorm room in college.
He was.
And he could light it up.
What was he doing in your dorm room?
You're a wise guy today.
He rounded into shape, absolutely.
He certainly did.
And you know what also? He got it. He just jumped in to the philosophy that Rick Pitino espoused and really generated his career. And this little tweak.
And he also generated Rick's career.
Yeah, he sure did. He did go a few places after that.
Rick will tell you, without Billy Donovan, it may have been a different story.
Rick would not have gotten to Gucci Row without Billy? Is that what you're suggesting?
Turnover, Gators again, Green, nicely done, unselfish play to Lee.
And a nice effort by Kentucky today. They give up on that. There's no give up in this group of kids.
And the Gators have been very successful in the Georgia Dome, but only in football.
Gus, again, we mentioned the SEC was founded in 1932, played their first championship tournament, basketball tournament, 1933. Florida's never won one.
Is that how you developed your style, that first game?
Here's Walsh splitting the double team, picked up Azubuike. Azubuike to the basket, makes it home. 2:04 to play.
You just got to be getting the timeout. 2:03, dangerous for Florida. Got to concentrate, Gus.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, George Lucas has finished his last Star Wars and gives a sneak preview, but only on 60 Minutes tonight. 2:03 left. Time running out for the Kentucky Wildcats here at the SEC Tournament Championship. Gators with a 13-point lead. Inbounding the ball. Roberson in the backcourt. Walsh goes up high, makes a nice catch. On a foul.
He doesn't believe it over there. I thought he had a perfect trap setup.
Florida 0-4 in the SEC tournament final, dating back to 1934. Most recently losing to Kentucky last year on this court, 89-73.
But this is really, you just sense a different whole demeanor about this Florida team this year as opposed to the same time last year.
They've got juice. I mean, there's a hop in their step. I just love the way they've shared, expressed themselves.
And played on the defensive end. You know, we've been talking about Walsh's offensive numbers, and they've been extremely impressive. But we keep telling about Sparks for Kentucky and how he hasn't scored any threes. Well, Walsh has been guarding him the whole game. Walsh has been outstanding on both ends of the court.
And you mentioned his length, able to stay at distance, and at 6'6", stick that arm out.
25 points to make it 26, and Walsh has been voted as the SEC tournament MVP. Under 2 minutes to play. 65-50. Dorian Green called for the foul on the reach-in.
You know, even though Walsh warrants the MVP, this has been all about team, I think.
No question.
Everybody has contributed. And even here, just what do you stop at? I mean, it's coaching. You need your guys in the game. There's a little bit of passion, and it all stems from this guy. Long Island's finest, huh? St. Agnes Rockville Center. How about the bag he showed up in today? He had a school bag. I thought he was back in high school. Whatever was in the bag worked, huh? Those set plays.
But the amazing thing about this game, Kentucky made that run. They had that impressive 15-1 run. It's when Billy Donovan's crew started turning the ball over and gave Kentucky the opportunity to get out on the break. But except for that one stretch, Florida's been able to set the defense, and their defensive effort is really what's been the key today.
He's right.
David Lee fouled on the rebound.
24 to shoot.
So let's look ahead to the tournament. After making it to the finals in 2000, it's been herky-jerky for this Gators team.
They were ripe for Manhattan. Everybody knew how good Manhattan was. Holmes, Bennett, of course, Mulligan. There's a good team Bobby Gonzalez had. Michigan State, well, we know what that's been like. And Creighton with Corver, but this is a different team, I think, in terms of attitude. I don't know how you guys feel.
I agree with you 100%. I had them in that game against Manhattan last year, and their whole demeanor out there is just so different. Now, that doesn't mean they won't lose in the first or second round. Again, this is going to be an NCAA tournament that is going to be, I think, unbelievably competitive. There's not very much space between the teams that'll get the best seeds and the teams that'll get the seeds that aren't quite so good.
You better lace them up no matter who's put up on that board later this evening.
And how about David Lee? Only 7 points, but 16 rebounds. Complete team effort this afternoon by the Gators, leading 66-51. Stockton in, and that's a brick. Walsh with the rebound. Here comes Florida, and they peel it back and work the clock. Roberson.
He is tough to contain, though. He puts that head down, protects the basket.
You don't want to be chasing him when he's got the ball.
Glass by Tubby Smith, not fouling, trying to extend the game. Roberson to Lee, reverse jam.
A lot of mutual respect with these coaches and programs, and Kentucky does bring the best out of you. They've got the X on their back every evening. You guys carry with a little discard. Dan Darrell, remember that name? Great shooter as well.
Azubuike lays it in with 52.4 seconds to go. 68-53 Gators, a foul in the backcourt as Green heads the other way. How about this, though?
Well, how about for emphasis here, Dan? I know you did this in your heyday. A little three-quarter spin, reverse, get the back brace out.
Well, we've been talking about his game defensively and his game rebound, and there's his teammates celebrating on the bench, and that speaks back to the issue that you're talking about. Seems to be a really close group of guys.
So Florida heading to their first SEC tournament title. On the other sideline, Tubby Smith, his guys, a little flat today coming into this game, but you can be sure that when the madness begins next week, this Kentucky team will be ready not only to compete, but to push for a national championship. They have that kind of spirit and teamwork and leadership. Just not their day today.
Gus, and don't forget about the two teams that we were able to watch yesterday, Alabama and LSU. They played very well in this tournament.
Absolutely. Some teams deep and talented.
35 seconds to go. Gators basically playing a road game.
Boy, that's the truth.
Everybody against you.
There's no such thing as a neutral court when you're playing Kentucky.
24,408. You had 400 of them. Florida, right?
And the Gators brought in maybe a couple of thousand. And lead 70 to 53. Some of the starters checking out. Walsh with a terrific game, 26 points, 5 of 11 from the three-point line, 19 points in the second half. Disappointment on the faces of the Cats, but their season will continue next week. A rare loss for them in a big game. And a shot clock violation. Gators just dribbling out the clock. Billy Donovan, the kid they call him.
The kid no more, huh?
Not at all.
Ooh.
Florida outscores Kentucky 30-9 in the last 11.5 minutes and win their first SEC tournament title, defeating the Cats 70 to 53. Florida has now won 7 in a row, 23-7 overall this season, and they headed to the NCAA tournament, one of the hottest teams in all of college basketball. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Matt Walsh from Florida, 26 points, a couple of rebounds, 5 of 11 from downtown on 8 of 17 shooting, and Randolph Morris, the freshman from Atlanta, a huge rebounding game, 10. In recognition of their determination and outstanding play, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy, an American Revolution. Coming up, Greg Gumbel in New York. Gators win it 70 to 53 over Kentucky.